Hi, welcome to Strategic Wealth with Christina. I'm Christina Strickland, Managing Partner of Rally Wealth and Benefits, and today I have Jennifer Torres with me. Jennifer is the Director of Business Development for Payroll, a local Kansas City payroll company. She's going to be joining me to discuss things like AI, challenges that business owners face, and all sorts of things going on in the payroll world. So, Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. So, Jennifer Torres, Director of Business Development with Payroll here in Kansas City. Thanks for joining me. Can you give me just a little bit of background, how you got started, where you are now, what you love about what you're doing, all that fun stuff?
No, absolutely. So what I like to say prior to, what I was doing now, or what I am doing now, I was in the sports industry, worked for the University of Miami Athletic Department, then jumped over to the Cleveland Browns. So my background really is, in customer service and marketing, kind of, that area. After I got out of the sports industry, that's when I kind of started working more with businesses. So started selling payroll, a few years back. And, working for Payshare now, I love it. It's a local business. And it's backed by a CPA firm, which kind of builds, more credibility when I'm going out and selling. So, yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, I feel like payroll and taxes kind of go hand in hand for a lot of business owners.
Yeah.
So talk to me about working with business owners and specifically working with payroll. So most of the people that are going to be watching this video are either business executives or business owners, and they probably interact with payroll on it might be a daily basis. They might not want it to be a daily basis, but it probably is.
Yeah.
So a lot of, I think here's the thing. I was just having this conversation with someone yesterday on our side of like, man, I have so many business growth goals and so many hopes and dreams and value that we want to bring to our clients. But sometimes you just have to do the like I dotting and T crossing of being a business owner. And honestly, sometimes that's the most annoying part. But talk to me about payroll specifically. What are some mistakes that you see made? What are some tips and tricks, or just in general, like what are you experiencing in the world that we should know about?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is that, what I see or what has been interesting and eye-opening is that some business owners are still kind of doing like just the basics, and I think that there's so much technology out there for them to really kind of explore and having that part do it for them and making it easier. And especially with AI now. So, I think the biggest thing is if you are a business owner, you really want to, have processes in place initially, and then, kind of build on that. You need to make sure that you have a handbook in place, that, policies and procedures are in place. You have a good HR coverage.
Right.
I always like to tell this funny little story. I got hired. It was a small business. Not going to tell you the name. And 4 days in, I hadn't even been onboarded. Like I hadn't filled out my I-9. I hadn't filled out my W-4.
They didn't even know that legally you could even be working there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, I didn't fill out my benefits and stuff. And, needless to say, I think that job lasted 2 weeks and I'm like, I'm out of here, so it's things like that. I mean, employees want a good experience. So making sure that, you have a good onboarding process, and things are in place and, just the basics.
Well, and I think that so many business owners that I talk to every day are doing things more manually. And I think that the thing is when it's blue skies and rainbows outside, that feels okay. And it oftentimes feels safe because that's what I've always done. And that's what I know. The problem to the manual processes is what if one day your payroll's late? Or what if you are late filing your 941s or anything like that? Then it's all of a sudden, oh, manual's great until there's an issue. And so some of those automations I think are perfect because like they're designed to protect you from yourselves. So payroll in general can be more automated. I think that, again, for most business owners, I think it's like we're so focused on doing the thing we do that these processes feel overwhelming, and learning a new system feels overwhelming. But one of the things that I was super surprised to find out is that our company was manual on payroll probably like, 2013, 2014 time period. And well, it was 14. I remember because I was pregnant with my third child and I was like, okay, I am not going to have 3 kids and still be manually processing payroll. Like that sounds awful. But here's what was so interesting to me to find out was what we were still using a service. We were just manually doing it.
Yes.
The price comparison between us manually doing it, but paying for this software versus having a company do it for us was like $20 a month. And I'm like, who would not pay the extra $20? So is the cost comparison still similar, or what are we seeing now?
It's kind of difficult because sometimes, business owners want control over their payroll instead of, kind of that back and forth. Like they do the payroll and then they have to submit it, to get it processed.
Sure.
So it depends on if they want to, take ownership and do that. Or, you can kind of just
be hands off and
be hands off and, you just email over the hours, to your payroll company and they can kind of do it for you. So
I think in the spectrum, right, there's onboarding that you can do as yourself or not. Payroll, you can actually calculate everything, or you can just email hours. So one of the other things that I think that business owners are dealing with in addition to payroll is that part of the ability to attract and retain talent is benefits, right? Like you have to have a 401k plan. We don't have to, but you should. Health insurance, things like that. So how do, as a business owner, if I'm working through, I've got a payroll provider, but I want to offer a 401k and I want to offer health insurance, how does that all kind of play in and collaborate with each other?
Yeah. I mean, you really want to find kind of a payroll technology that integrates all of it, just to make it seamless and easy for the employer to kind of navigate. There's a lot of great, technology out there that incorporates all of it. So just kind of a one-stop shop, in order for you to kind of, be able to log in and see all of it in one place.
Yeah. I think that shopping for payroll is such a huge question of what can you integrate with? Or like, for example, can you integrate with, this 401k provider so that, because what I experience again on the benefit side is, hey, employee Susie Q enrolled in her 401k and she elected a 5% contribution, meaning she's going to contribute 5% of her salary to her 401k plan. I've seen some companies that don't have payroll integration at all. So the human resources person or the payroll person, whoever is in charge of that, is manually putting in the file, hey, Susie Q, 5% pre-tax. So this is the dollar amount that the payroll company needs to not withhold when they do their sweep to pay payroll, right? And then the payroll accounting or whoever it is has to then go through and do another transaction straight to the record keeper. And honestly, that sounds like a nightmare. What do you normally see when you're working with business owners?
Yeah. I mean, I think that, eventually it's been kind of a slow process to kind of get that integration with a lot of the, 401k providers. I think they're in the process of working, with everyone and being able to kind of integrate. So it's been a little slow in that sense. So it hasn't quite come up to, the current time. So
it's like, I was just having a conversation with someone this morning about like, it's the concept of trying to turn the Titanic on a dime. You know, it's like the whole country. I mean, every business in the world has payroll, right? And so then we throw at it these new things. And part of what I see so much in my role is the laws and regulations change
Yes.
all the time.
Yep.
And so that's my biggest reason that I would want a payroll provider versus doing it myself, is just staying on top of things. I mean, goodness, like I'm trying to think of what year it was that the Tax Cut and Jobs Act got passed. I think, oh gosh, I'm going to butcher this. I think it was 2022, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And it greatly impacted how payroll taxes were withheld. And so then employees got higher paychecks, which was great until they went to file. And then some people owed more. And it was purely because withholding changed. That to me is the number one reason. I would never want to take that responsibility on myself.
No. And I think a lot of it now, that's kind of where, AI is going to be helpful in this space, is to really, kind of be able to monitor all those changes. I just talked with one of the partners at LSCV, and she was like, there was some change that came down, and they had to email out over, 1,000 of their current clients on this change, so I think that, with AI, we'll be able to really kind of get a handle and grip on making sure that all those, just changes that are coming down, I mean, we'll be able to implement and help at the state and, federal level.
Yeah. So last question for you. Just in general, as you go out into the world and you're having conversations with business owners and business leaders, what do you think is the number one pain point that business owners are feeling right now, specifically regarding payroll? And what do you think the answer to it is?
I would probably say making sure that they have all of their just tax filings, just in place, paid. No one ever wants to get a letter in the mail saying that you owe, a certain amount because you didn't pay on time. So really being able to have a payroll company, be able to kind of help, navigate that world, I think would be probably a nice thing to have.
And I think that that's a thing that a lot of business owners take for granted and maybe don't realize how serious it is, because I think that two things are true. As a business owner, especially depending on how your business is structured, you have individual taxes. And so that's, you might be filing quarterly estimates, or you might be doing whatever you're doing on the business side, or like your S Corp or your C Corp selection. And I think so many business owners are focused on that. And then they get did you withhold unemployment? And okay, you withheld it. Did you send it in? Did you withhold? That's my biggest fear for every business owner is, yes, I withheld federal taxes from my employees' paychecks, but did you send it? And when you sent it, did you send the right form with it? Those are the things that terrify me. I would never want to leave that up to chance. Because like you said, man, you get home from a busy day at work and you open your mail and there's that big letter from, Department of Labor, and you're like, oh, dang, what happened?
What happened now?
Yes.
So,
Oh, what a nightmare. Well, in general, I say what a nightmare, and that probably sounds so bad. I don't want to discourage individuals, and here's the thing I think, and this is why I love payroll and why I wanted you to be here, because a firm belief in my life, if you know me, you've heard me say this, is there's this thing when you get to the end of your life where you say, will God be happy with all that I've done, with all that he gave me? And I think that specifically rings a lot to business owners of there is a calling on your life, and that calling on your life may include starting a business to serve other people, to make the world a better place. It doesn't, I happen to be a faithful person. You don't have to be. There's a purpose to your life, and that purpose to your life may be related to owning a business. But there are hurdles in the way, and one of the hurdles is payroll. And so I love so much about your company is you're just hey, you do the thing, you do the widgets, you serve the people, you bring in the staff, you make the world a better place. We'll just do payroll. And I love that you take that burden off of people. So thank you for all that you all do.
Thank you.
I know it sounds like sometimes it's just paperwork, but I really do believe it's helping people fulfill, the purpose of their lives is taking the administrative hardship off of it.
Absolutely. We, what I love is to be able to talk to business owners and tell them that, you do what you're best at and let us handle,
Absolutely.
the thing that you may not know,
Right.
about. So being able to let them focus on their business, let us handle, kind of the behind the scenes, and take that burden off of them has been a real joy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.